Hearing is resumed. So to formally start ang ating committee hearing, please allow the chair to deliver his opening remarks. This is very short. Para lang po maumpisahan natin itong ating committee hearing. Mr. President, maradyaw na buntag o ayabak po in Kapampangan. Una sa lahat, nagdesisyon ang Quadcom members na ikansela sana ang pandinig na ito ngayon sa kadahilanang hindi pa po natatapos ang mga pagsusuri namin sa mga taong gustong lumabas at magpahayag ng kanilang mga nalalaman ukol sa mga usapin na tinatalakay ng Quadcom. Partikular ang pagkalat ng illegal na droga at extrajudicial killings. Kaya po minabuti na ikansila muna. Ito pong pagkansila ay naiparating ng maayos at sa tamang oras sa lahat ng kinauukulan, kabilang na ang tanggapan ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kaya naman ng aming mabalitaan na darating ngayon sa kapulungang ito upang kumprontahin ang Quadcom kung bakit kinansila ang hearing kung kailan nandito na sa Manila ang dating Pangulo, ay minabuti na namin na ipagpatuloy na upang ma-take advantage namin ang inyong presensya kahit na walang formal na sagot ang inyong abogado sa inyong pagdalo ngayong araw. Pangalawa, ang Quadcom po ay nabuo ng mapagtanto ng 4 na komite na iba-iba ang sakop at jurisdiction na nag-o-overlap na pala ang kanilang mga iniimbestigahan at marami ang tumutukoy sa pare-parehong usapin. Kaya minabuti ng na pag-isahin upang hindi pa ulit-ulit at ang pagtalakay sa pare-parehong usapin at pabalik-balik ang mga witnesses at mga congressmen. Nasasayang ang pera ng bayan. Hindi sinadyang nag-overlap ang mga issues, subalit nakita ninyo kung paano ang illegal na droga ay naghudyat na mga patayan na ngayon ay tinawag nating extrajudicial killings. At naging konektado rin ito sa mga pogo at mga taong nakita na nasa likod ng mga illegal na droga ay siya ring may kinalaman sa pogo at may koneksyon din sa mga matataas na opisyal ng gobyerno. Dito nagsimula ang mas malalimang investigasyon kung saan maraming nasangkot sa mga revelasyon ng mga taong humarap dito. Nagulat ang bayan. Napakalaki pala ng bagay na ito. Hindi namin maaaring talikuran ang aming tungkulin kung kaya't pinagpatuloy namin ito hanggat lumabas na nga ang pangalan ng ating dating Pangulo. Sa kagustuhan naming bigyan ng pagkakataon ang dating Pangulo na magpaliwanag at pasinungalingan ang mga bintang sa kanya, ay minabuti naming siya mismo ang aming imbitahan. Kaya ngayon na nandirito na ang dating Pangulo, tinatanggap po namin ang inyong pagdalo at kami po ay nagpapasalamat. Sa huling sagot sa amin ni Attorney Delgra na hindi na kayo dadalo sapagkat nasabi na ninyong lahat ang kailangan ninyong sabihin, kung kaya't isinama na niya sa kanyang sagot ang inyong opening remarks sa Senado. Ay ito na rin ang ituturing naming opening remarks ninyo dito sa amin. Sa kanya namang pahayag na sinabi daw ninyo na wala ng integrity, walang independence at probity ang Quadcom, kung kaya't hindi nyo na kailangan pang dumalo, kami ay nagagalak na dumating pa din po kayo. At sa inyong desisyon na magpakita dito sa amin at paunlakan ang aming imbitasyon, ay pinasisinungalingan ninyo ang sinabi ni Attorney Delgra na wala kaming integridad, walang independence at walang probity. Sa sinabi din ni Attorney Delgra na ang aming pandinig ay isa lamang political ploy at ginagamit lamang namin upang hanapan ng basihan ang mga krimen na isasampalaban sa inyo. Nais po naming tiyakin sa inyo, Mr. President, na hindi po iyon ang trabaho ng Quadcom. Kung may mga naibintang man sa inyo sa paglalahad ng mga ibang taong nagtestigo dito, iyon ay kanilang mga pahayag. At iyon ang nais naming bigyan ninyo ng linaw. Hindi kami naririto upang husgahan kayo, kundi marinig sa inyo ang katotohanan at ang sagot sa mga paratang at mga pahayag laban sa inyo. Wala po sa amin dito ang nag-aakusa sa inyo sapagkat hindi po kami ang may reklamo at hindi po kami ang may kaalaman sa mga pangyayari kundi ang mga ibang taong humarap dito sa Quadcom. Kung sa sinasabi niyo po naman na ang mga ibang tao na humarap dito ay aming pinwersa upang magsabi ng hindi totoo at tinawag niyo pong subornation ang ginawa ng Quadcom members, ay nagkakamali po kayo, Mr. President. Mismong mga abogado na nakaharap sa tagpong iyon kung saan nag-uusap sina Colonel Grijaldo at Chairman Abante at Chairman Fernandez ang nagpatunay na gawa lamang ni Colonel Grijaldo ang kanyang istorya. Sa katunayan, 2 beses nang nagbigay ng excuse letter si Colonel Grijaldo sa amin sapagkat hindi siya makakarating sa mga sumunod na mga pandinig. Marahil ay napagtanto niya ang bigat ng kanyang paratang sa Quadcom. Mamaya po ay aming babasahin sa inyo ang pahayag ng mga abogadong naroroon. Sa punto pong ito ay papayagan na po natin ang pagtatanong ng mga membro sa inyo upang bigyan linaw ang mga naipahayag na rito laban sa inyo, upang maging gabay namin sa pagbalangkas ng anumang kailangang hakbang upang maprotektahan pa ang mga karapatan ng mga taong naaakusa at mapangalagaan din ang mga karapatan ng mga taong naaapi sa pamamagitan ng pag-amyenda ng mga batas, paggawa ng mga bagong batas o pag-repeal sa mga umiiral na mga batas. Sa pagpapatuloy po natin ngayon sa pandinig na ito ukol sa extrajudicial killings, nais po naming tiyakin sa inyo na rerespetuhin po namin ang lahat ng inyong mga karapatan. Hindi po kami naririto upang kayo husgahan, kundi pakinggan ang inyong panig. Abogado naman po kayo, Mr. President, kaya alam namin na mas alam ninyong pangalagaan ang inyong mga karapatan. Iginagalang po namin kayo, and in deference to you being the former President of the Republic, we shall accord to you all the respects due you. Kung kaya't binuksan namin ang pandinig na ito upang hindi po masayang ang pagod ninyo sa pagdalo ninyo sa amin. Nag-imbita din po kami ng mga resource persons na hindi namin inaasahan na makakadalo pa dahil nag-cancel na po kami nung Lunes. Kaya't ang pagbubukas na ito ay sobrang short notice. Kaya po sa mga makakadalo at hahabol o makakahabol, welcome po kayong lahat ng mga invited guests and resource persons. Sa mga hindi po invited, ngunit naririto, pasensya na po kayo at hindi po namin kayo papayagang gamitin ang oras ng Quadcom at baka malihis tayo sa ating agenda sa araw na ito. Kung gusto po ninyong magpaimbita sa susunod, ay iimbitahan po namin kayo. Marami pa pong pagkakataon at kami ay umaasa na kayo ay dadalong muli sa ating mga susunod na mga pagdinig. Magandang umaga po at maraming salamat sa ating lahat. The next to deliver his opening remarks is Congressman Benny Abante, the chairman of the Committee on Human Rights. You are now recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Dahilan sa Tagalog po ang inyong opening remarks. Hayaan po niyo ko na mag-English naman. Sapagkat mayroong isang abogado dito, ininsulto ang isang member ng Quadcom na hindi raw marunong mag-English. Gusto ko pong sabihin sa abogadong yan na ako po ay marunong mag-English. Baka mas marunong pa ako sa kanya mag-English. Ito po ang opening remarks ko sa ating Senior Deputy Speaker, sa ating Deputy Speaker, sa aking mga co-chairs, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues at mga kababayan. Today marks a significant development in our ongoing inquiry. Gusto ko yung abogado natin na nang insulto dito sa isang member natin dito, makinig na mabuti at i-correct niya ang English ko kung kinakailangan. For the first time, former President Rodrigo Duterte will appear before this committee to answer questions posed by his members. I would like to begin by thanking him for his presence. Thank you, Mr. President, for coming here. Rest assured po that Congress recognizes your role as our former president, and we will extend to you the respect that the position deserves. Maraming salamat po. Respect, but not deference, Mr. Chairman. However, my friends, colleagues, let me draw a clear line here. While we should be respectful, we cannot be differential. Mga kababayan, watching today with us, it is important to stress that respect and deference are two different things. It is vital that we, as representatives of the people, remember that distinction, because our ultimate allegiance is not to any one individual, no matter how high their office. We answer to a power greater than any president. We answer to the Filipino people and to God. As Scripture reminds us in Romans 10:3, and I quote, "Since they did not know the righteousness of God and sought to establish their own, they did not submit to God's righteousness." Our fidelity belongs to the Lord alone. Our mission is to seek the truth, and we shall not be swayed from that path. As we have said time and time again, we have organized this inquiry with a solemn purpose to recommend avenues for justice to be served, seek accountability, and uncover the truth as we adhere to the rules of inquiries in aid of legislation. And inherent to this is our moral obligation to stop the vicious cycle of extrajudicial killings against our people who cannot defend themselves, to stop the blatant violations of our Constitution and our laws by scheming individuals and criminal syndicates, and to abate the social menace of illegal drugs. It is our sincere hope that the former president's presence here today will aid this objective, not hinder it. Today, we ask everyone here, including the former president, to speak openly and honestly, as this inquiry's goal is not to cast blame for its own sake, but to serve the cause of justice. Mr. Chairman, marahil po, hindi na ako nakikilala ng ating former president. Magpapakilala po muli ako. Mr. President, ako po si Bishop Benny Abante, ang Pangulo ng Bible Mode, Bible Believers League for Morality and Democracy, na mayroong 6,000 churches sa buong mundo. Kung naalala niyo, Mr. President, bago kayo tumakbo and you were still deciding to run, I was invited by a common friend to meet with you. And we did at the Fairmont Hotel in Makati. I hope that you would remember that. With me are two pastors, and we prayed together. I prayed for you, asking the Lord to give you the right decision to run for the presidency. I do not know you from Adam, Mr. President, but I believe in your cause. I believe in your plan. And because of this, Mr. President, I work hard to campaign for you. Many of the pastors of the Baptist community voted for you. Gusto ko pong marinig ito ng mga DDS trolls at DDS vloggers na tumitira sa amin at sinisira ang aking reputasyon. Gusto kong sabihin sa kanila, ilang boto ba ang ibinigay nyo kay former President? Ako po, Mr. President, libu-libong boto ang binigay namin sa inyo. Nagpasalamat ba kayo sa akin? Hindi. Nilapitan niyo po ba ako? Hindi. Mabuti pa, Senator Bongo, Mr. President, nagpunta sa aking simbahan at nagpasalamat sapagkat sinuportahan namin kayo at siya, Mr. President. Now, gusto kong sabihin po dito sa Quadcom na ito, ako ba'y lumapit sa inyo para humingi ng pabor? Hindi po. Ako ba'y lumapit sa inyo para magrekomenda ng justice, magrekomenda ng general, magrekomenda ng cabinet secretary. Hindi po. Hindi ako nagpunta ng Malacanang nung kayo nanunungkulan sa loob ng 6 na taon. Isang beses lang. Ako po ay nagsabi kay Senator Bongko, kung maaari na makapag-usap po tayo. Pumayag po siya. At nag-usap po tayo, if you would remember that, Mr. President. Nag-usap tayo confidentially. Ano pong ginawa ko? Binuksan ko po ang Biblia. Ipinakita ko sa inyo na walang ibang tagapagligtas kundi ang Panginoong Kristo. Ipinakita ko sa inyo ang maaaring magbago ng buhay natin, walang iba kundi ang ating Panginoon. Sinabi ko sa inyo ang nakalagay sa John 3:16, "For God so loved the world, that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Binantayan ko ang inyong panunungkulan. Nakita ko na maganda ang plano nyo. Nakita ko po, Mr. Chair, na ayaw ng Pangulo na itong bansang Pilipinas mahulog sa kamay ng mga drug lords at drug traffickers. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Nagsimula kayo ng war on drugs. Kami mga kapastoran, believe po sa inyo, sa inyong ginawa. Sabi nyo, 6 months lang, kaya nyong tapusin ang war on drugs na ito. Inabot po kayo ng 6 na taon. Hanggang ngayon, meron po tayong war on drugs. Hindi po namin nakalain, Mr. President, na sa war on drugs na yan, mamamatay ang more than 30,000, Mr. President. Hindi ko akalain na more than 7,000 na mga drug pushers ang mamamatay sa kamay ng mga kapulisan at sa kamay ng mga riding in tandem. At sinabi po ng ating ibang kapulisan, at gusto kong sabihin, hindi po lahat ng kapulisan, sapagkat ang karamihan po ng ating kapulisan, mga mabuting tao, at nais protektahan ang bansang ito. Pero, ang ilang mga pulis pumatay po. At dito nag-testify ang ilan na mayroong reward system na inyong itinanggi nung kayo ay nag-testify under oath doon sa Senado. Ngayon po, bilang bishop po ng Bible Mode, hindi ko akalain na kinakailangan pumatay tayo ng more than 30,000 people para masugpo po ang drugs sa atin. Aba, Mr. Chair, talo pa natin ang Mexico. Sapagkat ng Mexico, nakita ko wala pang 10,000 namatay. Talo pa natin ng Colombia. Naging killing fields po ang Pilipinas nung panahon ninyo, nung kayo nanunungkulan. Naniniwala po kami na dapat hindi manatili ang drugs dito sa ating lipunan. Subalit, hindi po ako naniniwala na dapat tayong pumatay ng more than 30,000 people. Dahilan dito, pinatay si Kian Alejandro. Anong kasalanan niya? Pinatay ang isang 3-year-old na bata na nahagip ng stray bullet dahilan pumatay sa isang drug pusher. Pinatay ang 9-year-old na bata doon sa Caloocan, Mr. President, Mr. Chair. Ang kanyang bala ay nandun pa sa kanyang katawan nung siya'y nilibing. Subalit anong sabi ng funeral service? Siya po'y namatay dahil sa pneumonia. Pinatay po ang isang driver ng tricycle driver sapagkat sinakay niya ang isang drug pusher. Yung drug pusher pinatay, pero yung driver ng tricycle pinatay din, Mr. President. Hindi niyo po alam to. Hindi niyo po alam to. Ngayon, meron pa. Meron pong isa dahil sa tokhang kumatok sa isang pintuan, hinanap ang isang taong nagngangalampilo na isang drug pusher. Hindi nakita. Pinatay. Yung pinagtanungan. Yung pilo, buhay pa, Mr. President, Mr. Chair. At naglalako pa, palagay ko, ng drugs ngayon. Hindi ko po maintindihan to. Hindi ko po maunawaan kung bakit ganon. Samantalang sinuportahan kayo ng maraming pastor ng Baptist community. Ang ilang mga kapastoran po nandito at ilang mga pastor namin nanonood ngayon at pinapakinggan ang aking tinig, Mr. Chair. Ako po ay binabas araw-araw ng mga bashers ng DDS troll ng DDS bloggers. Minumura itong taong ito. Sinisira ang aking reputasyon. Minumura po ako ng katulad ng inyong pagmumura, Mr. President. Hindi ko akalain kung bakit gagawin nila yan. Ang tanong ko, ilang boto ba ang ibinigay ng mga DDS vloggers sa inyo? Gusto kong sabihin sa inyo, I can testify on this, na libu-libong boto ang nakuha nyo sa Baptist community at hindi ako humiling ng anumang pabor sa inyo, Mr. President. In fact, kung naalala nyo, Mr. President, sinabi ko kay Senator Bongo na nais kitang imbitahan sa aming selebrasyon ng National Baptist Day, Mr. President. Dihindo ko lang po yung pakikipag-usap na ito ni Delga sa ating presidente para po makapakinig po sa akin ng tama. Inimbitahan ko kayo. Nagpunta ho kayo, Mr. President. Doon po sa SMX, nakita nyo ang 7,000 na mga Baptist leaders na nakinig po sa inyo. Sa inyong speech, Mr. President. Oo. Doon po sa speech ninyo, sa harapan po ng mga bishop at ng mga pastor, nagmumura kayo. Pinagbigyan po namin kayo. Kahit na hindi maganda sa amin makarinig ng mura, pinagbigyan po namin kayo dahil kayo ang Pangulo at dapat namin kayong irespeto, Mr. President. Andito ho ako, nakaupo sa harapan nyo. Nagpapasalamat sa pagkakataong ito na masabi ko ng buong katapatan sa inyo ang ginawa ng more than 6,000 na mga kapastoran ng Bible Mode para sa inyong eleksyon bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Nung akin pong nag-file ako ng bill, Mr. President, yung pong tinatawag nating Republic Act 11897, an act declaring the second Thursday of January of every year as special working holiday to be known as National Baptist Day. Sinuportahan po ito ng lahat ng mga congressman. Sinuportahan po ito ng lahat ng mga senador. Okay. At nilagay po sa inyong opisina. Pinirmahan nyo ba ang bill na yan? Hindi po. Naging batas yan because it lapsed into law after 30 days. Pero, okay lang po sa amin yun. Okay lang po sa amin yun. Yun na lang siguro ang maaaring pasalamat ninyo, Mr. President, sa amin. Bilang pagboto namin sa inyo ng mga libo-libo mga Baptist leaders at Baptist members sa buong kapuluan. Hanggang ngayon, nirerespeto po kayo ng aming kapastoran. Hanggang ngayon, pati yung kapastoran po namin sa Mindanao, ginagalang kayo. Marami kaming pastor sa Davao na ginagalang po kayo. Bakit po? Sapagkat kayo ay naging Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Ang kahilingan lang po namin dito, Mr. President, habang kayo po ay kinakausap namin ngayong umaga, ang kahilingan lang po namin dito ay sana po naman respetuhin po ninyo ang Quadcom hearing na ito sa pamamagitan ng hindi paggamit ng mga vulgar words, Mr. President. Sapagkat gusto kong sabihin sa inyo bilang warning na kapag kayo po ay nagmura sa Quadcom hearing na ito, I will make a point of order on you. Meron po akong batayan na batas sa tinatawag po nating disturbance of proceedings. Gusto kong basahin doon po sa Psalms 109, 17 to 18 and 28. Hindi ko alam kung naniniwala kayo sa Diyos. Hindi ko alam kung naniniwala kayo sa Biblia. Samantalang sa isang pagkakataon, tinawag niyo ang Diyos na stupid, Mr. President. Tinanggap po namin yan sapagkat kayo Pangulo. Oo. At nagpapasalamat ako. Hanggang ngayon po, buhay pa kayo. Kahit na po tinawag niyo ang Diyos na isang stupido, Diyos. Oo. Hindi ko alam kung katanggap-tanggap yan sa lahat na mga nakikinig sa akin ngayong umaga. Pero ito po, gusto kong basahin sa inyo bilang isa rin namang warning. Sa wikang Tagalog, babasahin ko. sapagkat iniisip niya ang manumpa, ang magsabi ng masama. Kaya darating yaon sa kanya sapagkat hindi siya nalugod sa pagpapala, kaya't malayo yaon sa kanya. Dahil binihisan niya ang sarili niya ng pagsabi ng masama o pagsumpa na gaya ng kanyang sariling damit, yaoy papasok sa kanyang kalooban na gaya ng tubig at gaya ng langit sa kanyang mga buto. Hayaang sumumpa sila. Hayaang sila ay magmura. Ngunit magpala ka. Ang kahilingan po namin ngayon, Mr. President, sana po, imbis na mura ang marinig namin sa inyo, sana po, bigyan nyo kami ng pagpapala sa Quadcom na ito. Sapagkat hindi personalidad ang tinutukoy namin dito. Ang tinutukoy po natin ito, issue na kinakailangan po natin tuldukan sapagkat ito po'y kailangan ng ating bayan. Kapag sila'y bumangon, sila'y mapapahiya, ngunit ang iyong lingkod ay magagalak. Yan po ang sinabi sa Salmo, Mr. Chair, Mr. President. Salamat po sapagkat hinayaan niyo ako na magsabi sa inyo ng buong katapatan na walang halong anumang pagkukunwari, Mr. President. Ginagalang ko pa rin po kayo. Hindi po dahilan ay kayo, kundi dahilan sa minsan naging Pangulo kayo ng Pilipinas. Kaya nga po ang aking opening remarks is what? Respect, not deference. We are not here to give you obeisance. We are not here to give you obedience. We are not here to submit to you. We are here as equal members of this House, Mr. President, Mr. Former President. You are now a private citizen. And I hope and pray that you would give us equal respect as we give you equal respect today. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Abante. The next to deliver his opening remarks is Congressman Stephen Caraps Paduano, the Chair of the Committee on Public Accounts. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. As mentioned in the opening statement of the Chairman Barbers, today's hearing was originally scheduled to be postponed and moved to November 21, 2024. However, when the news emerged that the former President will be attending, and after we verified the announcements confirming his desire to attend the hearing, the Quad Committee decided to convene on short notice. This will allow us to hear directly from the former President and to address questions regarding the issue of extrajudicial killings. We have no guarantee that the former President will attend future hearings or fully participate in this investigation. Since he committed to be being here today, we couldn't let this opportunity to pass. As we continue our hearing, I wish to reaffirm the Quad Committee's commitment to a thorough, transparent, and accountable examination of the issues before us. Proceeding with today's hearing underscores our dedication to a fair and open inquiry, one that seeks truth and clarity rather than distraction or delay. Our work here is not a matter of posturing, but of responsibility to the law, to the people, and to those impacted by our actions. If this hearing will be used as a platform to score propaganda points, then we should not waste the public's time. This is not the place for shallow tactics or personal agendas. Our purpose here is serious and clear. We are here to listen, to ask critical questions, and to closely examine the policies and decisions that have shaped the nation. I hope the former President shared this enthusiasm and the discussions do not devolve into empty rhetoric aimed at evading the truth. With that in mind, let us strive to make this hearing meaningful, productive, and focus on uncovering the truth. Let us honor the public's trust, ensuring that this session is conducted with integrity and purpose. Marami pong salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Congressman Dan Fernandez. You are recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Inurasan ko po kayo, Mr. Chairman. 10 minutes po yung opening remarks. Si Chairman Paduano, 5 minutes. Si Chairman Abante, 30 minutes po ang kanyang inubos. At sa totoo lang po, wala na pong tayong oras. At siyempre po, we have to consider also the health of the former President. And I think I will not be delivering any opening remarks. And I will be asking na lang po siguro yung ating pong technician to present a video clip, and that will form part of my opening remarks, Mr. Chair. And advice lamang po kay sa ating chairman, huwag mo masyadong seryoso yun yung mga bashers mo. As a matter of fact, madami po talaga mga bashers, pero alam mo, mga troll farms yan eh. At huwag na lang po nating intindihin. Kung ayaw mo masaktan, no, edi huwag kang magbasa. I think we all know na marami po talaga itong mga troll farms. At yan naman po talagang ginagamit na taktika against us all. But at any rate, Mr. Chairman, ito pong bidyong ito na ginawa po ng ating pong Quad Committee ay will be form part of the committee.
Before that, Congressman Fernandez, how many minutes is that video?
Siguro mga ano po yan. Kung meron kang 10 minutes, meron siyang 30 minutes, meron siyang 5 minutes, 7 minutes po yan, Mr. Chairman. So,
just make sure it
allow
is a
us.
short presentation.
It's a short
Your Honor.
presentation, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, salamat po. Sige.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman
gusto ko
Abante.
lang pong sagutin yung sinabi ni Congressman Fernandez.
You have 2 minutes.
Oh. Alam mo talagang marami, pero hindi ko binabasa yan. Hindi ko inaalala yan. Gusto ko lang sabihin sa DDS Troll at DDS Vloggers, ilang boto ba ang ibinigay nyo sa former President sa botong ibinigay ng Baptist community sa kanya? Yun lang po ang tanong ko.
Thank you, Congressman Abante. You have made your point in your opening statement. So we will now proceed. Instead of delivering an opening remarks, you said you're going to show a clip. Is that correct, Your Honor?
Yes, this was created by the Quad Committee, by all the members. So let us present this video.
Okay, please, the technical group, can you please play the clip?
Hearing is suspended for a few minutes.
May I say I shoot them dead? I prefer to shoot them. Kaya may order ko rin ganyan. Shoot to kill. Walang pakialam dyan sa iyo, maganiwala. I don't give a shit kung anong gusto nilang sabihin. I killed about 3 of them because there were 3 of them. I didn't really know how many bullets from my gun went to inside their bodies, but it happened. May I say I shoot them dead? I prefer to shoot them in the heart or in the head. If you insist on a drug war, I will kill you.
8 bisis siya pumatay ng tao. Talagang parang masaya siya basta may namamatay na tao. Yan ang habit niya.
Kasi yung pinatay ko, medyo nag-ano rin yun. May galit rin yun sila sa akin.
Ang nasamahan ko dyan yung sa pagkapatay, paglilibing. Siguro mga 300 plus katao yung nalibing ko.
Until the last pusher is out of the streets. Until the last drug lord is killed. Talagang papatayin kita. The whole Davao Death Squad network was used as Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte's personal killing machine. Kakinurap mo yan kung sinong sunduin kita ng helicopter, papuntang Manila, tatapon kita sila. They took advantage of our blind loyalty to him and our greed for money to promote and protect his personal and political interests. I will assume full legal responsibility. Kaya ang human rights, ako ang magharap niyan, hindi naman kayo. All of our targets were killed based solely on the intel information and orders given by Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte himself. Ang kasalanan ko lang yung mga extrajudicial killing.
It's not a dog, my son. It's not a dog or a pig to kill like them.
Siya ang pinaka-protector ng mga drug lord dito sa Pilipinas. Basic example niyan is si Michael Yang at si Alan Lim.
Sinasabi ko, I can clean it in 6 months. And after that, I realized na nagkamali talaga ako. Kaya siya ang pinaka-lord of all the drug lords.
Okay, sige po. Salamat. So, we will now proceed with the next agenda. May we recognize Congressman Acop, our Vice Chair, to please discuss the ground rules for today's committee hearing. You are recognized, Congressman Acop.
To repeat the rules applicable insofar as our hearing is concerned. Only the microphone of the lead chairperson or presiding officer shall be on unmute mode at the start of the meeting. During the period of interpellation, resource persons shall be given 5 minutes each to state their position or make a presentation in the meeting. Resource persons shall not be allowed to speak or make interjections unless and until they are recognized by the lead chairperson or the presiding officer. Committee members and other House members who want to make statements or ask questions to resource persons shall register with the committee secretary of the lead committee and shall be recognized by the lead chairperson or the presiding officer on a first to register basis. Members shall be given 10 minutes each for their interpellation, excluding the answers of the resource persons. No member except the lead chairperson or the presiding officer shall be allowed to speak or make interjections during the course of the interpellation of a member unless and until recognized by the lead chairperson or the presiding officer. Any question addressed to the joint committee shall be presented to the committees separately, and the decision of the joint committee shall be the majority vote of the 4 committees. Now, insofar as the role of councils is concerned, the councils, Mr. Chair, should see to it that they should present their appearance to the Quad Committee if there are councils present, and the participation of counsel for the witness during the hearing and while the witness is testifying shall only be limited to advising on the legal rights of the said witness or resource person. Counsel for a witness or resource person shall conduct oneself in a professional manner and shall observe proper decorum. Otherwise, upon a majority vote of the members present, there being a quorum, such counsel shall be subject to contempt or to such other disciplinary action that may include censure and removal from the room where the hearing is being conducted.
Second, Mr. Chairman, is the letters that was sent to us during the previous hearing by Attorney Delgra, representing as counsel the former president. And with that, Mr. Chairman, before I discuss this admin matter, may I ask Attorney Delgra, are you the counsel of the former president or a witness or a resource person at today's hearing? Because I do believe that you have received the postponement. I do believe that you have. Attorney Delgra, please listen. I do believe that you have received the postponement invitation for you.
If I may?
Did you receive the invitation?
We did, Your Honor.
Then you also received the postponement.
We did, Your Honor.
So now, let me ask you, are you counsel of the former president now, today?
I come here both as counsel of the former president as well as a resource person because I received a letter of invitation to appear before this committee
So
to explain
both,
the circumstances of the 2 letters that we sent to this committee. I suppose that was the premise of the Quads Committee's invitation to me to appear.
That is correct. If I may, Your Honor, we have invited Attorney Delgra as our resource person because during the last hearing, there was a motion from Congressman Adyong to invite him, Congressman Flores and Congressman Adyong, to invite Attorney Delgra to discuss the contents of the letter he sent in behalf of the former president. And that is the reason why we sent an invite to Attorney Delgra, Your Honor. And at the same time, he is likewise appearing today as the counsel to the former president. He is also a resource person.
Mr. Chairman, I think the reason why we invited Attorney Delgra was to enter his appearance as a counsel, and we never invited him as a resource person.
We will ask Attorney Delgra to enter his appearance.
Can we check the letter that we have?
Your Honors, if I may, we will ask the lawyers and the invited resource persons to appearing in behalf of the former president today as his counsel to enter their appearance before the Quad Committee. And we will get to that later on after we dispose of the administrative matters that we have at the moment. So, Congressman Paduano.
So with that, Mr. Chairman, discussion with regards to admin matters on the letter sent to us by Attorney Delgra, since he's also a resource person, we will discuss this during the turn of Attorney Delgra, Mr. Chairman. But before we proceed, Mr. Chairman, let me ask lang po, on record, for the record lang po, for the former president, do you confirm, sir, that we received a letter coming from you, signed by you, granting authority to Attorney Delgra as your counsel? Just for the record po.
Your Honor, you are correct.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you,
well,
Mr. President.
I-
Former President, that's only my question.
We're talking about lawyers. I have two additional lawyers.
Okay, let them,
Attorney Belio and Attorney Panelo.
so let them have their entry.
So that
If they will recognize me, the chairman. Thank you, Mr. President, for that answer. Thank you po.
We will now ask the lawyers of the former president to enter their appearance before the Quad Committee before we proceed with the committee proper. Attorney Delgra and Attorney Panelo, please enter your appearance. Attorney Delgra. And
Yan. Yan.
Your Honors, entering my appearance as counsel for former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Your Honor.
okay, thank you.
Good morning, Your Honors. Respectfully appearing as counsel for the former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Panelo. Please proceed, Congressman Paduano.
Mr. Chairman, since Attorney Delgra is also a resource person, so I will just ask the admin matters during the turn of Attorney Delgra.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Congressman Paduano. Now, we would like to ask our resource persons to please take their oaths before we proceed with the committee proper. I have here a list of the names of the members who wish to propound questions later on to our resource persons. So, but before that, may we ask our resource persons to please take their oath before the committee. Comsec, please administer the oath.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All those resource persons who are attending this hearing for the first time. So, we would like to request the former president to please stand, and Attorney Delgra and nanays who are here. Hindi pa kayo naka-oath na. Yung hindi pa naka-oath.
Yung pong hindi pa po nakakapag-oath, pwede pong tumayo tayo at mag-oath po tayo. Comsec, please proceed.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this congressional inquiry, so God may help you? They said in the affirmative, sir. The oath has been administered.
Thank you very much to our resource persons. Thank you very much, Comsec. Now we will proceed now with the interpellations. I have here a list of names of the members who wish to ask questions. The first to follow the tradition of the House, where we give the first crack of asking questions, is from the member of the minority. Congressman Arlene Brosas, you are now recognized. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Mr. Chair, first of all, siguro i-reiterate ko lang yung kaninang sinabi ni Chairman Benny Abante na we would like to remind na wala sanang mga
excuse
salita.
me, Congressman Brosas, I'm sorry. This is a oversight on my part. Meron pa hong nasa agenda. I am really, really sorry, Congressman Brosas. We have invited members from, what group is this, DSJJ? May I have the list of the names? So, bigyan po namin kayo ng pagkakataon na magsalita, pero 2 minuto lamang po. Kung maaari, iksian nyo po kasi po ayaw po nating tumagal bago po tayo mag-proceed sa ating pagtatanong. So the first, who's going to be recognized first? Okay. Opo. So we first recognize Father Flavi Villanueva. You have 2 minutes, Father, kung maaari po.
Magandang umaga, Chair. Magandang umaga po sa lahat dito. Ako po ay si Father Flavie L. Villanueva, SVD. Isang pare na nakakita, nakasaksi, at patuloy na kumakalinga at naghahandog ng paghilom sa mga balo ulila na biniktima ng war on drugs noong nagdaang administrasyon. At dito ay nakita ko ang kawalan ng katarungan, kawalan ng sistema, at higit sa lahat, ang karumal-dumal na pagpatay sa mga nasalaylayan. Aldrin Pineda, 13 years old. Bakit ako pinatay ni Omar? Si Omar ay isang pulis sa Tondo. Micah Alpina, pangarap ko maging pulis. Pero pulis din ang pumatay sa kanya, 3 taong gulang. Erwin, 29 years old. Ipagluluto kita ng pansit, bibili lang ako, pagbalik ko, pagdiriwang natin ang kaarawan mo. Hindi na siya bumalik at 6 na bala ang tumoda sa kanya. Naka-civilian pero kompleto sa battle gear. Si Berto ganun din. Ang huli niyang wika, papasada lang ako ng tricycle, pagbalik ko, pagdiriwang natin ang birthday mo, mahal. Civilian ang pumatay, pero tinorture, tinago, bago pinasabog ang bungo. Kung nagkaroon ng kawalan ng sistema sa pag-imbestiga, nagkaroon ng sistemang pagpatay sa kanila. Mahigit 200 ang kasama ko sa baba. Lahat sila may kwento. Lahat sila nawalan. At ang nawala sa kanya ay ang mga taong bumubuhay sa kanila. Katulad doon na sabi ko sa Quadcom, bago ko ibigay yung microphone sa mga kasamahan kong naririto sa pangunguna ni Randy De Los Santos na siyang kumakatawan sa program Paghilom at susunod magsasalita. Sabi ko sa Senado, kung mayroong sistemang pinagmamalaki, kung mayroong baril na ginamit ang mga nanlaban at tunay na nanlaban sila, then, Mr. Chair, let it happen today. Let it happen in this Quadcom. Let us call the directors of operations and ask ilang baril ang naroroon sa kasalukuyan. Then we would know kung ilan po ang tunay na nanlaban, kung meron talaga nanlalaban. Those firearms would have corresponding reports attached to them. It should have. Then we would know the real reason, if it's a myth, kung gawa-gawa o totoo.